My family wants me for Christmas after 8 years of estrangement. But can I forgive them when they only care about my grandfather's inheritance? My family has invited me, my wife, 27 female, and my daughter, 1 female, for Christmas after we were disowned 8 years ago. After my friends gave me different opinions, one of them suggested that I submit my problem here to receive feedback from strangers on the internet. I am a 25-year-old man who is the youngest of 4 children. My mom is 52, and my dad is 54. My siblings are my twin brother, Casey, 25 male, Sarah, 28 female, and Michael, 31 male. For background, I was the family's black sheep growing up, and I was aware of that from an early age. You see, there are a lot of athletes in my family. My mom played volleyball, Michael played soccer, Sarah played softball, Casey was the team's outstanding running back, and my dad was a standout basketball player at a D2 school. My parents were always interested in my siblings and hardly ever came to my events, so I had to practically beg them to come to my tournaments. I was never really interested in any of those physical sports, but I was interested in archery, which my family referred to as a wimpy sport. I competed in over 20 tournaments between the ages of 14 and 16, but my parents only attended one. Although they never abandoned me, they never showed me the same level of emotional support that they did for my brothers. I was angry about that as a teenager. Every time I attempted to discuss this with them, they would accuse me of being attention-seeking. But this isn't the reason my family disowned me. I started dating Amy, 25 female, who was in my grade at the time, when I was 15. I introduced her to my parents and siblings after we had been dating for approximately 6 or 7 months, and they all thought she was great. Even though I was young, I could imagine us working together in the future. After nearly 2 years, I was informed by one of Amy's former friends that she had been unfaithful to me for a few months. I didn't know who the man was at the time, but she told me it was my twin brother. When I confronted her, she essentially informed me that although she loved me at first, her love for my brother was greater. When I confronted Casey at home later that day, I was so furious that I gave him a sucker punch and knocked him unconscious. I acknowledged that I shouldn't have acted violently, but my animosity toward him and my family simply exploded. I was transferred to live with my 48-year-old paternal aunt, who is now distant from the family and resided in a different city about 2 hours away, in exchange for my family not pursuing charges against me. I could have been prosecuted as an adult in court. Since then, I haven't communicated with them. It was difficult at first, but I eventually got over my desire for a relationship with them with the help of my aunt and her 48-year-old husband. After attending a university in my aunt's city and transferring to a different high school, I earned my degree as an electrical engineer. After a while, I met my wife, and we were married. I considered inviting them to my wedding, but I decided against it because I didn't want any controversy. After that, my wife and I purchased a home an hour's drive from my aunt, and a year later, we were blessed with a daughter. Then, roughly a week ago, my parents messaged me on Facebook to invite me to spend Christmas at their place so we could catch up. I informed them that while I could have other plans, I would think about it and provide them with a definitive response shortly. Later, I received strange friend requests from Sarah and Michael. Because she is 2 months pregnant and does not want to deal with any additional stress, my wife has informed me that if I travel, she and my daughter will spend Christmas at my father-in-law's place. I concur with her. I would like to know if it would be wise for me to go and try to make amends with my family. I'm having a hard time deciding what to do. On the one hand, they might want to apologize because they feel horrible about what they did to me. However, I could be forced to apologize to Casey if I go there, which is something I don't want to do. Any guidance would be beneficial. Viewpoint. To start with, except for your aunt, your entire family seems like a bunch of jerks. The only cool person here is her. If I were you, I would inform them that I am spending Christmas with my wife, daughter, and father-in-law. Thus, I am unable to go. I would inquire as to whether choosing a different time is truly vital to them. That is, if you want to make amends with them, or if you're interested in finding out what they want. There are many various circumstances in life that can help you alter your opinion. But I must admit that it seems a little strange that your brother and sister decided to add you as a friend after 8 years of no communication following your parents' Facebook message. For this reason, if you're interested in meeting them, I wouldn't do it at your house or at theirs on Christmas. Meet in a park or someplace like that, and then see where things go. Tell them to stop contacting you, and that you're just not accessible if you're not interested in making amends. Proceed with your life after blocking them on social media. What are your thoughts on the matter as a whole? If you were in OP's position, how would you respond? Tell me in the space provided for comments. Remarks from the community. As a parent, I can't imagine not being able to communicate with one of my children for 8 years after my other child did something so horrible to him. As stated in Minute Box 38:52, he struck him. Then I simply cannot imagine that. If my son ever did something like hit his brother, I would completely understand. We're all still only human, even if I'm not supposed to say it. It's up to you if you can get over the fact that they turned their backs on you for 8 years and left you for your aunts. I'm not sure if I could myself. I doubt anyone would blame you if you're unable to see them again and choose not to. They are unaware of the whole tale. If they do, they are also not worth your attention if they are aware of the whole story. Surprise Pants exclaims, "My man, there are no good answers here. I would spend Christmas with your current immediate family. If they value it, you might pick a less stressful time and calmly express it that way if you want to spend time with an alienated family. I can understand if your family is a bunch of jerks, but it doesn't sound like anything serious happened that you couldn't all handle. Reconnecting might be worthwhile. At least you can try, even though my pessimistic side says it won't work out. When you do, don't discuss the past with anyone other than your wife and your therapist. Get one if you don't already have one." Angry Patient 18 says, "Making amends during a significant occasion like Christmas is never a good idea. Since it's obvious that they want to get back together because of your child, your wife is quite smart to avoid this event. Tell them you won't miss your daughter's first Christmas, but that you're open to having lunch or coffee in a public setting in the new year. One blow to a brother who betrayed you led to your disownment. They were obviously searching for reasons to get rid of you. Now that you have a baby to snuggle, you are only of service to them. Take great care as you tread. They won't be able to see the infant for at least 6 months, even if you don't make amends." Extra details gleaned from OP's remarks. "They invited me to a large Christmas family event, and this is the first time they have been in touch with me in 8 years. My parents host a supper for my entire paternal side on Christmas Day. I believe they are attempting to take advantage of me because they invited me on that particular day. Additionally, this is how they got rid of me. My aunt was shunned by her family after coming out as bisexual to them after graduating from college. My maternal grandparents weren't living at the time, and my mother is the only child. My dad essentially gave me away to my aunt because the other siblings refused to take me. Lastly, I've always been envious of my wife's close relationships with her siblings and family. That is the kind of family I always yearned for." Okay, so everyone in the community believes that if the original poster wants to get back together, it must happen at a later date. Naturally, after trust has been built, no one gets to view the infant. In addition, OP provided us with additional background information on his family. Let's now proceed to the update to find out what transpired. Naturally, though, I must tell you about my playlists, such as this one that exclusively has videos with updates. Let's go on to the update now. Update. Hello everyone. Although the past 2 weeks have been difficult, I want to thank everyone for their support and guidance. Allow me to catch up with you. I wanted to post earlier, but a few things got in the way. My wife started having excruciating stomach discomfort 2 days after Christmas, making it difficult for her to stand. I hurried her to the hospital with her sister, a 30-year-old woman, and we learned that my wife had lost the baby. To be honest, telling my wife what had transpired was the worst part for me. My wife had to remain for an additional 2 days because of difficulties related to the operation. To be honest, I have been making an effort to remain strong for my wife and daughter, but I am currently having difficulty. Let's go on to the original post's update. On the same day that I posted, the majority of you left comments urging me to avoid spending Christmas with them due to the holiday's importance. I agreed and made the decision to stay with my wife for the remainder of the holidays. Why should I make time for them when they never made time for me? I thought they would try to argue with me when I texted them this, but instead, they stated they appreciated my viewpoint and were excited to see me after the holidays. I therefore started looking into my family to see why they had contacted me. What I discovered is as follows. Michael is employed by a large corporation in my hometown as a corporate lawyer. According to his Facebook page, he married his wife in 2016 and has 2 daughters. It looks like Sarah's husband is a doctor. They had a son together, and she was pursuing a nursing degree. 8 years ago, my hometown is home to a friend of mine whose parents are friends with mine. She informed me that Sarah had divorced her first husband, whom she had been dating for years, due to mail fraud. When I questioned her about her immediately following high school, Casey married Amy, and the two of them have 2 children. Using Facebook, I was unable to determine exactly what he or his wife does for a livelihood, but the fact that they purchased a large home during the epidemic indicates that they are not having a lot of financial difficulties. My mother is very interested in the wellness community, and my dad appears to be experiencing a midlife crisis. I then started outlining the reasons they might have sought to get in touch with me. Money? Not likely, given my wife's and my salaries were less than my parents' combined wage 8 years ago. Money is most likely not the cause, given my siblings are not experiencing financial difficulties. Although it doesn't seem likely, organ donation might be the reason. Given that he is my twin, a Redditor suggested that Casey would be my most likely mate. Since he was mentioned in a Facebook post about skiing a week before Christmas, I don't think it's likely. They might be trying to get in touch with me to get a relationship with my kid, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why my parents would want to meet my daughter, as she is not their first granddaughter. They probably discovered my daughter's existence because my wife's Facebook page was open to the public. Since then, she has made her account private. Then I called my aunt, the estranged person who took me in, and told her what had happened. She told me why, after all this time, they were contacting me. You must comprehend the reasons for my aunt's estrangement in order to comprehend this circumstance. For children were born to my 76-year-old grandma and 79-year-old paternal grandfather. My aunt was the 3rd oldest, followed by my dad, who was the 2nd. After graduating from college, my aunt started dating her partner and came out to her parents as bisexual. She was instantly rejected by my grandparents, who also forbade any communication with her. But my grandfather started contacting people around 4 years ago. My grandfather had been inquiring about my life and whether I was married or had children around a month ago. In response to my grandfather's backing of Casey for his actions, my aunt called him out for wanting to know about me. At that point, everything changed. My grandfather informed my aunt that I should be cut off from Amy since I had cheated on her with one of her close friends. My grandfather despises cheating since he is a devout man. My family had informed him that the buddy with whom I had allegedly cheated went to Casey and Sarah for consolation and support after she came clean to Amy. I approached and viciously attacked Casey and Sarah as soon as I learned of this. I did not touch Sarah, and I did not viciously assault Casey, even though she was the one who attempted to separate us. My jaw fell when my aunt told me this. It was unbelievable to me that they detested me so much that they would fabricate a horrible lie about me and disseminate it. Grandpa, who always believed Casey to be a wonderful kid, was startled when my aunt eventually told him the whole truth about what had actually happened, according to my aunt. My aunt refused to share my number when my grandfather requested it. I understood my parents' and siblings' desire to contact me. It turns out that my grandfather threatened to cut off my parents and siblings from his estate if they would not offer an apology for their treatment of me and invite me to join the family for Christmas dinner. To put it in perspective, he is a multimillionaire. Therefore, they contacted me because they would not receive anything from Grandpa if they didn't, not to express regret for the wrongs they had all done to me in the past. What a group of avaricious individuals. My aunt informed me of this. Therefore, I made the decision to block them all. For what reason should I answer any of them now? To me, they're all dead. After everything we went through, I have a wife to support and an in-law family that appreciates me. But this is not the end of it. On my work phone, I got a call from an unidentified number 3 days after New Year's Eve. Because of my job, I frequently receive calls from unfamiliar numbers, and when I answered, I heard my grandfather's voice. He probably found my number on the website of my business. He started by apologizing for not attempting to contact me during the previous 8 years. He expressed his sincere regret for being unable to attend significant occasions like my wedding, graduation, and the birth of my daughter. His cutting me off didn't hurt me because we weren't that close before. Later in the call, he informed me that he was adding me to his will and severing the rest of my family because he was so disgusted with them. To be completely honest, I have no idea how to feel about that. Although the money would be beneficial, I do not want him to use it as leverage to pressure me and my daughter into dating. We spoke for around 30 minutes. My grandpa told me something that really infuriated me, but the way the call proceeded gave me hope that we could have a positive relationship. He expressed his disappointment to me about my daughter's refusal to adopt the family name. For background, The question of what last name to use arose after I married my wife. I was unable to adopt my wife's last name for legal reasons, but as a couple, we agreed that all of our future children would bear her last name. I started berating my grandfather at this time, calling him a senile old guy and a lot of other derogatory terms. I instructed him to never get in touch with me again. This man has the gall to imply that after everything I've been through, I won't allow him to use the money I get to manipulate me. I'll give the money to a local charity even if I get it. This is unlikely, though, because he is a man of broken promises. I don't care how he perceives me anyway. Money is not the reason I want to be in a relationship with him. He had been trying to get in touch with me and hear my side of the story for 8 years. He claims to be disappointed in me when he does manage to contact me. My wife's and my careers are doing well right now, so maybe we'll be able to pay for our kids' tuition. I will only email him when I'm emotionally prepared. I've had a pretty difficult few weeks, and I'm hoping to get through them. Both my wife and my in-laws have made their Facebook accounts private. I don't understand what they'd do to try to get in touch with me. Hell, they would undoubtedly try to locate me by hiring a private investigator. I think they are unaware of my residence, but you never know. I've considered obtaining a restraining order, but it will be challenging because there are attorneys in the family. I've stopped using Reddit for the time being. I appreciate all of your advice, and I hope this new year brings you all the best. Will it be? I want to start by sincerely apologizing for the ordeal you and your spouse, in fact your entire family from that side, went through. Yes, like you say, screw your grandfather and the rest of your family and go on. Cool. If he does leave you something, it's also cool. If he doesn't, it's not that important, is it? I'm going to end this by wishing you and your wife the greatest possible future. Thank you for sharing, OP, and be careful. After all of that, I do need a post that lifts my spirits, so if you agree, stay with me, and let's get started. This post, written by an ex-Wall Street person, comes from the subreddit Malicious Compliance. Legally, I cost Bank of America almost $88,000. For some background, I have over 30 years of experience in the mortgage industry. I am quite familiar with it. Bank of America has never appealed to me, particularly their servicing section. This incident occurred a few years ago. I recently learned about this group. To my annoyance, the mortgage broker I used to restructure my mortgage offered Bank of America the servicing rights. Usually, the organization you pay to service your loan is not the same as the one that owns it. I felt irritated since most people at the time assumed that loans would remain on the books for at least 3 years. I calculated that Bank of America spent about $5,000 to service my loan. Additionally, mortgage servicers receive 0.25% of your outstanding loan balance annually, which can be adjusted to 0.375%. It is derived from your bank interest payments. Bank of America revealed that they will collect a $5 fee for the convenience of online mortgage payments around 2 months after the servicing move. Unjustified money grab, indeed. I consider myself fortunate to be able to contribute a bit more each month to my home payment. I therefore drew out 400 quarters from my local bank the following month in addition to my home payment. I then proceeded to my neighborhood Bank of America location and gave them my mortgage payment in quarters, along with other repayment documents. I requested a payment receipt. In order to lower the current debt and consequently Bank of America's costs, I overpaid my mortgage. You can write a check. You don't have to pay in coins, the kind branch manager remarked. The branch manager actually chuckled when I answered. I could, but I would charge a $95 convenience fee for the stamp on my check and the ink used. They counted the money and gave me my receipt. The charges persisted the next month, so I visited another nearby Bank of America location that had received negative Yelp reviews because of an unfriendly bank manager. I followed suit. Write a check, the branch manager instructed. We do not accept quarters. Should I call the Consumer Financial Protection Board, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the top bank regulator in the United States, and the banking commissioner of the local state, and inform them that you would not accept legal tender? I requested a conversation with the district manager. A stench was coming from me. He reluctantly had the employees count the quarters after roughly 20 minutes, and I was given a receipt. I informed the management that the next time I would bring dimes. I brought dimes the following month. He took them, but he kept glaring at me. Bank of America canceled the convenience fee after the payment was made. I refinanced my mortgage at a reduced rate the next month. For a service that they anticipated would last at least 3 years, and 5 years to be profitable. Bank of America only received about 6 months' worth of payments. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.